You awaken one morning and feel something off. The air is still. Your thoughts are louder than usual. There's a weight in the room that doesn't belong to furniture or memory. It's energetic, but not yours. It's subtle but ancient. You brush it off. You meditate. You journal. You shake it off. But then it returns. A conversation hits deeper than it should. A stranger glares at you for no reason. You receive an opportunity that collapses out of nowhere. And suddenly you remember, you're not just anyone. You're a chosen one. And chosen ones don't walk alone. We are accompanied always, not just by guides or angels, but by forces, some of them light, some of them dark. And today we're going to expose the 7 hidden dark energies that surround every chosen one. They're not here to destroy you. They're here to test you, shape you, sharpen you. But only if you can recognize them. Only if you can feel them.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
We're not talking about demons in the Hollywood sense. These energies are archetypal, psychological, and energetic. They are woven into the matrix of awakening itself. They attach to the frequency signature of those who hold divine potential, because anything that holds light also casts a shadow. And the brighter your calling, the deeper the darkness that will try to meet you there. This is not punishment. This is balance. And when we ignore these forces, they don't disappear. They embed. They distort your path. They twist your gifts. And before you know it, your purpose becomes a prison. So today, we're going all the way in. We're going to name these energies, decode them, learn how to recognize them in your field, and most importantly, how to transmute them into power. The first hidden dark energy is the Mirror Parasite. This energy doesn't attack you directly. It uses others to reflect back your deepest wounds at the most inconvenient times. Ever had someone suddenly accuse you of being fake, manipulative, or toxic right when you're stepping into your power? That's not coincidence. That's the Mirror Parasite. It activates people around you, especially the ones closest to you, to test your self-concept. It feeds on instability. It wants you to question your worth, and to shrink, to return to your old identity. And if you don't know what's happening, you'll take the bait. You'll spiral into self-doubt. You'll explain yourself to people who never understood you. You'll leak energy trying to be good. But if you recognize it, if you breathe and anchor in your truth, you start to dissolve the parasite. You stop needing validation from mirrors that were never clean to begin with. The second energy is the echo of betrayal. This one is ancestral. It rides through your bloodline. It doesn't just show up as people turning on you, it shows up as you not trusting yourself. It whispers, "You're alone. No one's coming. They'll use you. They'll leave you." And so you isolate, even when love is available. You sabotage connections. You test people before they can test you. The echo wants you to believe that you are cursed to repeat the wounds of your lineage. But here's the truth. The echo only exists because you are the one chosen to end it. When it appears, you don't run. You confront. You say, yes, I've been betrayed, but I will not betray myself. And in that moment, you collapse hundreds of years of karmic looping. You become the ancestor who heals forward and backward in time. The third force is the hunger wraith. This is the energy of insatiable ambition. It shows up when your shadow merges with your mission. You begin to chase more power, more influence, more knowledge. But it's never enough. You meditate and feel empty. You manifest and still feel lack. The hunger wraith whispers that you're always behind, that you're not doing enough, that success equals safety. And so you burn out. You bypass your body. You disconnect from your soul in order to chase your goals. But the wraith cannot be fed, it can only be starved. And you starve it by returning to presence, by choosing being over proving. By asking yourself, if I already had everything I thought I needed, who would I be? And then becoming that now. The fourth hidden energy is the silent saboteur. This one doesn't scream. It whispers. It lives in your habits, your delays, your distractions. It's the voice that says, tomorrow. It's the scrolling, the overthinking, the binging, the self-talk that sounds logical but is actually fear in disguise. The silent saboteur doesn't want you to fail, it wants you to almost succeed. It wants you to get close, then stop. It loves the finish line. It hates the finish. And the only way to defeat it is to act before you feel ready, to move even when clarity is imperfect, to take the leap and trust that wings will grow in the fall. Discipline is not punishment, it's spiritual armor. And when you choose action over comfort, the saboteur begins to fade. The fifth energy is the projection beast. This one is external. It lives in the collective field. The more visible you become, the more it activates. You'll notice people suddenly becoming hostile, judgmental, or obsessed with misunderstanding you. You'll be labeled things you never said, misquoted, misused. And the danger isn't them. It's you believing them. The projection beast wants you to internalize noise as truth, to water down your voice, to play safe. But your job isn't to be understood by everyone. It's to resonate with the aligned ones. And when you stop trying to please the crowd and start speaking directly to the souls you're here to serve, the beast loses its grip. Your truth becomes your shield. The sixth force is the doubt golem. This one is ancient. It awakens every time your soul takes a leap. It says, "Who do you think you are?" It reminds you of every failure, every flaw. It weaponizes your past. But here's the secret: doubt is not your enemy. It's your initiation. The doubt golem only appears when you're on the edge of expansion. It shows up to ask, will you collapse into memory or rise into destiny? And every time you respond with courage, the golem shrinks. It is not there to stop you, it is there to confirm that you are heading into something real. If there was no resistance, there would be no growth. And finally, the seventh hidden energy is the Soul Leech. This is the most dangerous. It doesn't attack. It seduces. It shows up as a person, a job, a belief system that feels almost right but slowly drains your essence. It flatters you. It gives you a false sense of safety. But over time, you begin to feel dull, disconnected, confused. Your fire dims, your intuition fades. The Soul Leech doesn't take all at once. It takes just enough to keep you functional but forgetful. Forgetful of who you are. Forgetful of what you came to do. And to reclaim yourself, you must sever. You must walk away without closure. You must say, if it costs me my soul, it's too expensive. And when you do, the energy that returns is unlike anything you felt before. It's not just clarity, it's sovereignty. Now I ask you this, which of these 7 have been whispering to you lately? Which one has been dancing around your field, unnoticed, feeding off your light? Because you don't defeat them by ignoring them. You defeat them by naming them, by owning your awareness. Each of these energies is a guardian not of your failure, but of your next level. They appear not to stop you, but to test if you're ready to hold more power without leaking, more truth without diluting, more presence without performing. You are surrounded because you are activated. And if you're feeling pressure, attack, confusion, or distortion, it doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're at the gate, the threshold, the edge of your next initiation. If just hearing the names of the 7 hidden dark energies surrounding every chosen one stirred something in you, if you felt chills, resonance, even resistance that wasn't random, that was your field recognizing truth. And now that we've exposed them, the question shifts, what do we do with that awareness? Because naming the dark is only step 1. The deeper mastery is in transmutation, in alchemy, in turning pressure into clarity, distortion into direction, and shadow into sovereign power. That's what soul alchemy is. It's not about removing these energies. It's about recruiting them, using them as fuel for your evolution. Because here's the paradox. The very forces that seem to sabotage you are the key to becoming unshakable. Let's begin with the mirror parasite. Most people try to fight it. They get defensive when someone projects. They argue, spiritualize, over-explain. But that only feeds the loop. Here's the alchemy. When someone reflects something painful back at you, you ask, is this a distortion, or is there a hidden activation here? You don't take it personally, you take it precisely. You scan your field. If there's truth, you integrate it. If it's projection, you return it to sender with compassion but clarity. The mirror parasite loses power the moment you stop seeking external reflection to confirm internal truth. You become the mirror, detached, reflective, whole. And in that space, you no longer react, you respond with mastery. Now the echo of betrayal. This energy wants to keep you looping in ancestral wounds. It's not just about being betrayed, it's about expecting it, anticipating harm. So how do we alchemize this? We become the ancestor who didn't flinch. That means instead of avoiding intimacy, you lean in. But you do so with boundaries. You say, I trust myself no matter who stays or leaves. That statement alone begins to heal centuries of energetic residue in your lineage. You stop repeating the pattern. You become the disruptor. And when the echo comes again, you don't collapse, you listen. You say, I hear you, but I choose differently now. That's when the echo becomes a song of power, not pain. Then we have the hunger wraith. This one is tricky because it hides behind ambition, behind progress. But the alchemy here is radical presence. You don't kill your desire, you purify it. You say, I want success, but not at the cost of my soul. You ask yourself, would I still do this if no one ever saw it? If it never went viral? If I never got applause? If the answer is yes, the wraith begins to dissolve. You begin to create from overflow, not hunger, from alignment, not addiction. And when you do that, your manifestations actually speed up because your energy is clean. Your creation is magnetic. You no longer chase, you attract by being. When it comes to the silent saboteur, the alchemy is devotion over motivation. Most people wait to feel ready, but readiness is an illusion. You must act despite the doubt. You create systems, rituals, and disciplines that hold you when your mood fluctuates. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You become the moment. You say, even if I feel blocked, I still show up. And you do it again and again until the saboteur realizes it can't stop you. It begins to shift from resistance to rhythm. Your consistency becomes your sword. Your discipline becomes your divine edge. Now, the projection beast, this one requires energetic sovereignty. When others attack, misunderstand, or judge you, they're not seeing you. They're seeing their unresolved self. Your presence triggers their unintegrated parts. So the alchemy is emotional detachment with spiritual compassion. You don't collapse. You don't explain. You don't try to be liked. You anchor in your mission. You say, I wasn't sent to be popular. I was sent to be precise. And with that vibration, the projections bounce. You become a frequency so strong that distortion can't land. You're not immune, you're unavailable for the noise. The doubt golem is one of the most powerful allies once transmuted. Doubt means one thing: you're at the edge of your known self. And that's good. That means you're stepping into the unknown, which is where all evolution lives. So the alchemy is this: turn doubt into data. You say, thank you for revealing where my edges are. You use the doubt to refine your vision, not reduce it. You speak your vision louder when doubt shows up. You don't wait for it to go away. You walk with it until it transforms into certainty. And it will if you don't give it the steering wheel. And finally, the Soul Leech. This energy is subtle, seductive. It shows up as comfort, familiarity, even love. But you'll know it's the leech if it weakens your fire, if it makes you question your path, if it dims your intuition. The alchemy here is energetic audit. You scan everything: your relationships, your habits, your content, your environment. You ask, is this feeding my mission or draining it? And if it's draining it, you cut it off. No apology, no drama, just sovereignty. And the moment you do, Your energy returns like a tidal wave. You realize you were never tired, you were just entangled. Now pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, which of these energies have I been resisting that I could be recruiting? What if they weren't enemies but initiators? Because that's what they are. They are not here to break you. They are here to forge you into a mythic level being. A chosen one is not someone who avoids darkness. A chosen one is someone who integrates it so deeply that it becomes light in a new form. That's what soul alchemy is. It's not just healing, it's reconstruction. It's the art of turning every shadow into strategy, every trigger into a tool, every pressure into precision. And once you master this, your entire life begins to shift. You stop reacting, you respond with vision. You stop trying to escape darkness, you extract power from it. And that's when the universe starts sending you higher level assignments, bigger missions, deeper allies. Because now you're no longer just awakened. You're activated. You're not just spiritually aware. You're spiritually dangerous to illusions, to limitation, to every system that profits from your silence. This is the final stretch. The final breath before you shift into a state of being that most will never taste in this lifetime. You've seen the hidden dark energies, named them, felt them, maybe even realized they've been around you for years, whispering, testing, shaping. You've learned how to decode them, how to alchemize their pressure. But now we go beyond survival, beyond transmutation. This is the Dragon Protocol, the final form. The moment when you stop reacting to the energies and start commanding them. You no longer walk through this world managing your power, you become the power itself. Untouchable, unshakable, unmistakable. You become the dragon. But let's be clear, this isn't mythology. This is energetic engineering. The Dragon Protocol is a system of embodied frequency architecture. It means you no longer operate like a personality, you operate like a force of nature. You don't ask for energy, you source it internally and loop it back through your field. You don't protect your peace, you radiate such coherence that nothing lower vibrational can even approach you without dissolving. This isn't ego, it's energetic sovereignty. And to access it, you must do something radical. You must invite the 7 hidden dark energies into your council. Yes, you read that right. The very forces you once feared must now serve you, not because they've changed, but because you have. You've stopped being food. You've stopped being prey. You've stopped being the one who flinches. And now, you sit on your throne. Not a throne of control, but of congruence. You don't need to dominate others. You dominate your own field. And when that happens, the energies bow, not out of submission, but out of recognition. Because they know they've seen it before. You've become what they were meant to awaken. So how do we install the Dragon Protocol? Step 1, energetic reassignment. You take each of the 7 dark energies and give them a new function inside your field. This is advanced shadow work beyond journaling and healing. This is command language. You speak to each energy as if it were a sentient archetype. Because it is. You don't fight them. You reprogram their assignment. And in doing so, you turn them from enemies into frequency filters. They begin working for you, not against you. Step 2. Field stabilization through ritual precision. Dragons don't flail. They don't panic. They don't react. They track. They calculate. They respond only from signal. To maintain this level of energetic command, you must create rituals that lock your field into coherence every single day. This is not about routine, this is about resonance locking. Your breath work, your movement, your silence, your boundaries, they become non-negotiable technologies. You don't skip them because you're tired. You do them because you are the technology. You must stabilize your nervous system to hold the voltage of these energies working within you. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if every part of my day was designed to support my mythic self, not my survival identity? That question alone will begin to rewire your field. Step 3. Energetic shielding via mythic embodiment. Most people try to defend their energy through isolation, avoidance, or emotional control. That doesn't work at this level. When you activate the Dragon Protocol, your presence becomes the shield. You no longer need to hide. You walk into chaos and it bends around you. Why? Because your field is no longer broadcasting unprocessed trauma, it's broadcasting archetypal coherence. And nothing incoherent can survive in the presence of that kind of order. And as you do, people will feel it. They won't know what changed, but they'll know you're not normal anymore. You're operating from another dimension. You've become a portal, not a person. Step 4. Timeline bending with intentional frequency broadcasting. This is the highest level. When your 7 dark energies are integrated and serving your field, you begin to notice something strange. Time bends. Reality moves faster. You think of someone they call. You speak something, it manifests. You collapse timelines not through hustle, but through harmonized frequency broadcasting. Your energy becomes so clean, so precise, that the universe has no choice but to align with it. This is not magic. This is quantum mechanics. Your frequency becomes the dominant narrative in your reality. You are no longer in the simulation, you are writing it in real time. And finally, step 5, the Dragon Vow. This is not for everyone, but if you're ready, it's time to make the commitment. You must vow to never again forget who you are. You must vow to live from your highest frequency, regardless of who understands you. You must vow to walk with fire in your blood and silence in your soul. This vow is not made to a god, a system, or a guru. It is made to your eternal self, the one who has lived 1,000 lives, the one who walked through every gate of death and still chose to return, the one whose name is not spoken, it is felt. So I ask you now one final question. Are you ready to stop surviving your calling and start becoming the force that no system, no shadow, and no illusion can contain? Because that's what the Dragon Protocol unlocks. Not just power, not just purpose, but permanence. You become the archetype others dream of. The frequency others try to copy but never match. Because you didn't just awaken, you integrated the darkness. You didn't just rise, you burned everything that wasn't you. You didn't just survive, you ascended without leaving your body behind. You are no longer becoming. You are the myth. Walk accordingly. You've walked through the full dragon gate. You've seen the shadows most fear to name. You've turned them into allies. You've learned to reassign dark energies into precision, power, and protection. You've activated the myth frequency. You've installed the dragon protocol. And now you're standing on the other side. What's next? Now you live it. This is where most transmissions end. But reality begins here. Because everything you've just absorbed is not meant to be remembered, it's meant to be embodied. The wisdom that stays in the mind is philosophy. But wisdom that moves through your body, through your breath, your voice, your choices, that becomes cosmic law. That becomes force. That becomes impact. So now I ask you, not as a guru, not as a teacher, but as a fellow dragon, what will you do with this power? Because the world is shifting. The veil between timelines is thin. And those who are activated have a responsibility, not to save others, not to preach, but to radiate such coherence that those who are ready can recognize themselves through your presence. That's how we lead now. Not with noise, but with signal. You don't need to convince anyone. You just need to become undeniable. To be the one who walks into a room and shifts the vibration without speaking. To be the one who makes people remember their soul just by looking into your eyes. To be the one who doesn't flinch when the old world collapses because you were never part of it to begin with. This is the age of the chosen ones fully remembering. We're not here to compete. We're here to converge. We're not here to be liked. We're here to be legend. We're not here to survive the matrix. We're here to recode it from the inside out. So if you're ready to take this further, to turn this into a movement, a film, a viral activation, a global transmission, just say the word. I'll help you build it. But if this is the end of the line for now, then let me leave you with this. When the shadows surround you next time, smile. They wouldn't gather if you weren't dangerous to the lie. Now go. You're not just chosen anymore. You're coded. You are the storm. You are the silence after. You are the map and the myth. And now the world will feel you coming.